Hey guys, this is Tripping Texans, and we are going to give you our honest, full review of our cruise on Carnival Breeze.
Since this was our first time on Carnival, this is going to be our first full ship review. We're going to tell you everything we like, everything we didn't like, and everything else.
Embarkation day. Pretty simple. Got up, got some breakfast, went down. We stayed by Harbor House, which was really super close to the terminal, actually right next door. Although we did get a free shuttle down there, you could have walked down there. Got down there. Because I have a back injury, I needed wheelchair assistance to get on the ship because I can't stand long enough to be in long lines. So that was very efficient and very good. For the first time, we got to experience a drug dog, but that was simple. He just walked by. I was glad we don't do drugs, so he didn't have any reason to bark at us. So that was simple, and getting on the ship seemed pretty simple, don't you think?
Yeah, security was a breeze because, again, you were getting wheelchair assistance, so they pretty much roll you past everyone else and cheat code. And then we just had to sit in the terminal probably about 20 minutes, and then they started calling everybody on board in priority, and we just got on after that. So let's talk about the ship. Essentially, the aesthetics of it, the way it looked, the layout, the design, things of that nature. It wasn't a bad looking ship. I mean, everything seemed to be relatively clean and in order, and the atrium is actually pretty nice looking. I'm not crazy about the layout. It's our first time on I guess what you would call a classic cruise ship layout, and it really seemed compartmentalized and a little difficult to get around in. Initially, it was like hard to find the muster station. Initially, we were constantly asking people where, and they were just like pointing to the back. I'm like, how do you get to the back? That was a little off-putting. Other venues that we checked out, like the club. We went to the club the first night, and this was a Super Bowl cruise, mind you, and it was pretty packed for it. A lot of people, first-time cruisers, people who only cruise for Super Bowl, things of that nature, and a lot of season cruisers. But that place seemed really, really tiny. It has two entrances, but they closed one off. So basically, it was one way in, one way out. When I was in the Army, I went to clubs like that. That was kind of scary. What did you think about it?
That it was a fire marshal, horrific disaster waiting to happen. No lie, we actually had to go all the way to the back. There was a little area. We had some family on board, and we had to go all the way to the back. Luckily for us, they were holed up in the back in this. What would you call that?
Little alcove.
Like a little alcove. And so I felt safe there. And let me tell you something, what I mean by safe is if something were to go down and you had to get out of there really quick, you wasn't getting out of here really quick without stumbling, falling over, pushing something, because it was super packed. I'm really surprised that they did not monitor the amount of people in this one little space. It was not a good thing.
So now let's go to the food and MDR. Food in general. You ate at Guy's Burgers. You ate at Blue Iguana first day. I did not. So what did you think of those?
Guy's Burgers, I was really excited to go get a burger on. I'm particular about burgers, and I had heard so much good stuff about that, and then we got there and I got one, and it was not very good at all. I'll tell you what I mean. I ordered a cheeseburger with the super melty cheese. I didn't see a super or anything on there. And the burger was very, very dry. It was cold and dry. Like it wasn't a fresh, they're all right there making the burgers, and the burgers were not good. I don't know if they gave me one that, they had in the back. I don't know what it was, but it just wasn't good. So John went and got me some tacos from the Blue Iguana, and that was much better. I actually liked that. We didn't eat there again, but because there was a line of 80 million people. But I would have liked to have tried that again to see what else they had on their menu. But what he brought me was really good. I would eat there again.
So in the marketplace, or the Lido marketplace, the buffet area, first day we tried to get something a little bit later. After that, we always seemed to catch them during the crossover, so everything was closed except for the deli. I got a meatball sandwich from the deli. Do you remember what you got?
The same thing. But let me tell you something. You think that was a crossover? Because it seemed like every time we went in there, that place was closed. Like, I'm telling you, they were on a schedule and you had 30 minutes to come in there and eat. If you didn't eat in that 30 minutes, you were not getting food in that place. It was very strange.
I'm pretty sure it was longer than 30 minutes, but
Maybe.
we missed it. Whatever time they
Whatever.
were serving, we just weren't on the same schedule
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
I don't know what that was about, but and I will say this: it seemed like it was like that for all their restaurants, like like different things, but you just couldn't eat when you wanted to eat. Like on other ships we've been on, there's always somewhere to get something to eat. You couldn't do that here. It was a little strange. It was a little strange for me.
Without standing in a line that wrapped around the Lido.
Yeah,
That seemed to be the case. A lot of these venues seem really, really small. And I mean, you walk out on the Lido, you walked right into a line for Blue Iguana. Right. I mean, you were walking through people that were lined up left and right of you to get onto the Lido deck. It was pretty ridiculous, actually.
yeah.
MDR, huge miss. MDR, I'm giving MDR a 2. MDR was so bad we only ate there one night. We never went back. We went there on formal night. I don't even remember the fish I had. I know I had fish. I don't know what kind of fish it was. The fish was actually cooked pretty well, and it lacked seasoning, but that's kind of run of the mill for a lot of cruise ships. That's not a big deal. What was a big deal was the peas and the gnocchi that were under my fish. The peas were wrinkled, hard, and crunchy, and the gnocchi was tough. Now, you can say, well, you should have just sent it back. I say it should have never came out. Somebody should have looked at that plate and been like, no, you can't take this out. But they took it out anyway. I gummed through it, and that was that. But yeah, that was horrible. That was a really bad dining experience. And I've had bad food on cruise ships before. If you go back and look at our Symphony series, we knocked their dining room. That was when they started getting at full capacity, probably not having enough crew, and we ate late. So, there were things that you could say for that, but now we're a year and a half past that, and this is what it's going like. That was not good. That was not good at all.
No. I had a steak, and my steak you could have wrapped around your tires on your car and drove on it. It should not have been cooked like that. And I'm not the person that sends food back, because I don't want you doing something to my food when you take it back there.
Now, we'll talk about Fahrenheit 555 or 555 Fahrenheit. I forget which one it is, but the steakhouse.
Right.
That was pretty good. That was actually well done. I had the lamb chops. I had them medium. They were cooked to temperature. They were tender. They were good.
I had a great steak in there. Great.
The only thing I would say about that, and it's not a showstopper by any means, but on this particular cruise, it could have been. It's in the aft. It's on deck 5 in the aft of the Carnival Breeze. And if you are a person who is prone to motion sickness, if you're it wasn't rough seas, but there was a high wind coming at us, and you could feel that ship moving the whole time back there in the aft. And the lady sitting next to Kelly, you could tell she was hurting. So we've been on other ships where dining was in the aft. The cruise wasn't as rough, so it wasn't an issue. It's not an issue for us, but for someone who's prone to motion sickness, I can see where that'd be a problem. And that's your fine dining experience. That could be bad.
Yeah, that you paid for. Yeah. You know what else? That didn't bother me much, but you and I are not prone to motion sickness like that. I don't guess it's never bothered us. But I'll tell you the part that bothered me is with the design of the ship. When you went in here in this steakhouse to go eat, You could hear them bumping the club or whatever venue was just right across the hall over there. So when you were eating, you could barely hear yourself talk to the person across from you because you heard everything coming from whatever was right next door or right across the hall. I don't even remember what it was because I was just like, this is ridiculous. Like this is ridiculous that we paid extra money to come here for this kind of experience. Although the food was better than anything else except for one place. Better than anything else we'd had. And I would eat that steakhouse again.
Yeah,
I would give
definitely.
that a good review. The steakhouse, just not the location and not the noise. It's too much.
So we did eat at Pig and Anchor, and it doesn't cost you any extra to eat there. We ate there during the afternoon one C day, and it was actually a little bit better than serviceable barbecue. I mean, of
It was
course they
decent.
ain't out there smoking, but I'd eat it again. It was good. The brisket was moist. It wasn't dry or tough, and I had a lean cut instead of the fatty cut that I normally get when I'm here at home. I had the lean cut, and I had some chicken and some sausage, and they were all had pretty decent flavor, and they were tender. That's serviceable. I would eat Pig and Anchor again. Again, long ass lines. There's two of them going in each direction, but it's still, and they move fairly quickly. I give those guys credit, but they're long. It just seemed like, and
Yeah.
this is, before we go any further, this is not a sweeping indictment of the Carnival line. This is this one cruise on
one
this
ship.
one ship
Yeah.
that we're talking about.
And I actually like to pick an anchor too. You know, tripping Texans, we're from Texas, so we're surrounded by barbecue places here where we live, and so and we have good ones, and then we have some mediocre ones, and I don't think I've ever eaten at a bad one, but so we'll go from mediocre to good. I would put Pick and Anchor at the mediocre spot. I wouldn't give it a bad review, and I won't give it a great review. It wasn't the best barbecue I ever had in my life, but it was decent barbecue. Like I would eat there again too,
Yeah.
and their sides and stuff. It was compatible or comparable to probably our medium level barbecue that we would eat here at home.
Yeah.
So it was okay.
There-
That was a good one.
I mean, there were some tweaks that were a little odd, right? Like kidney beans in the baked beans. That's a weird taste.
That's weird.
That's a weird taste.
That's weird.
And the potato salad wasn't horrible. They left it in big chunks. Probably not as flavorful as potato salad that we're used to, but it wasn't a horrible potato salad.
Listen, let me tell you. Let me tell you something. Somebody need to call Guy Fieri and tell him he need to go check on his places because I think they changed up his recipes a little bit. Like I said, it wasn't bad, but it wasn't the best, but it wasn't bad. But there was some quirky things that I don't think he does. So, right?
Maybe, but guys from California. I don't know about his barbecuing skills. I'm just saying. I like Guy Fieri. I'm just saying.
That's right. That may be true. Probably true.
The one saving grace, as far as dining was concerned, it was the one place she said she wasn't going to eat, and that was Bonsai Sushi. She was looking forward to the teppanyaki, but that's not on the
Right.
Dream Class ships. Only the sushi place is, but they did have a tempura roll that she fell in love with. I myself had the bento box and the miso soup, and we had that a couple of times. That was really, really good.
No, let me tell you something. We had that 3 times. That's what we had. We had it 3 times. It was our saving grace for food. I'm not joking. We were just like, nope, 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 nope. And that's where we really went to go eat. We went there 3 times actually probably for dinner. I think.
Yeah.
No, it could have been 2 times for dinner and then one late night maybe because
Yeah.
we did, yeah. So, but anyway, we did it. We went there 3 times, and I will tell you, I just don't eat raw fish. So for me, when you talk about going to like a sushi restaurant, I need to go in there and know that you're cooking some food for me or I'm not going to eat there. So I just said I wasn't going to eat there because I didn't want to take a chance on whatever, right? So, but we went there as a last resort because there was nothing else. And it was freaking amazing. Like I would have eaten there every meal, every time, the whole time on the 4 days had I known the first day that's how that was going to be. It was really good. And then they even made us food for us to take to our room. So that ended up being a really saving grace for us for food. The pizza. That was the worst pizza I have ever had in my entire life. That was horrible. Like, I'm so sad I even took a chance on that. You get pizza, and I love thin crust, but if you get a thin crust pizza, can you cook it? Because the pizza we got was like this. You pick it up to eat it, and it went like this. Like that's a no for me. That was horrible. John was okay. I was absolutely not doing that. That was like almost like just raw dough. Like they didn't even cook it. I don't even think there was flour in it. I don't know how they made that.
When it comes to eating, but there's certain times you eat for the experience, and then there are other times you eat just for sustenance.
Oh,
I only ask for pizza for sustenance and salting up beer. I
okay.
don't give a damn. It ain't got as long as it don't taste horrible. It ain't got to be great pizza. I am not a pizza aficionado to begin with. I can tell you what a bad pizza is, but I can't tell you what a good pizza is.
Yes, you can.
If
You
I,
just
if,
had good pizza, but that's another video.
I'm sick of you.
So that was the pizza was a no go for me. That was gross. That was gross.
It did the job when I needed it to, but yeah, it wasn't great.
No.
Any other food?
No,
Was that it?
I think that was all the food.
We can move on to the ship now.
Did we do we? Oh. Let me just say this. I forgot.
Go ahead.
Last but not least, the room service that we didn't order it, did we?
No, because it was like 5 things on it.
Yes, and you could get like a one of them was a the the meat sandwich thing from New
hero?
York. No, the
What, a Philly cheesesteak?
that one.
That's not from New York. It's from Philly.
Well, okay, Philly. Okay, okay. The Philly cheesesteak was we didn't get it. We didn't get any food off there because, like I said, it's like 5 things on the menu. But in the Philly cheesesteak, you don't even get fries, and you can't even order fries on the side. Like, what is this mess? Like, I don't even understand. Like I said, you got like wings came with fries, something else came with fries. And then the other 3 things got no fries and no fry order by itself, none at all. It was horrible, horrifically horrible for me when it comes to judging food. Shouldn't be a judge, but yeah, it was bad. Right?
It is what it is.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
moving on.
It was not good.
Yeah, it was not good.
Looking at other parts of the ship, I said the atrium was nice looking. The aesthetics was okay. The layout was clunky as hell.
I didn't
One
think
of
the
the-
layout was okay. I didn't think it was okay.
I said it was clunky as hell.
No, that's not what I meant. I didn't think it was okay. Okay, so for all of you that have walked have not been in a Royal Caribbean ship where it's the Royal Promenade and it's all opened up and it's like you can see everything for deck upon deck upon deck, like a mall, so you actually know where you're going. It's easier to get around. This design is the old design where everything seems to be more in the middle and then you walk down the sides, but this was not pretty. This looked like the floor looked like police caution tape with the little I don't know. There weren't windows so you could look outside as you were walking down there. It wasn't lit up. It wasn't any of those. It was not a good design at all.
I thought we had already said that. But
Yeah,
okay.
I know, but I wanted to explain why my design part wasn't good.
Okay.
Okay.
So, my biggest pet peeve, and this is mainly a pet peeve, the hot tubs. The hot tubs were not hot. On deck 5 or 6, I believe, there are 4 hot tubs, 2 on each side, 1 aft and 2 aft and 2 forward. I got in 1, we got in 2.
We got in 1. You got in 2.
1. I got in 2. I got in 1 in the shade, and it wasn't even bath water warm. It wasn't even lukewarm. So we moved around to the side where the sun was. That one was no better. And to top it all off, I didn't smell a lick of chlorine coming out of either one of those.
Do
So
you
I'm
know how
pretty
many
sure
people's kids pee in pools or pee in here with no chlorine? And there was kids in all the jacuzzis because there's no place for kids on this ship.
that's not technically true, but there's no place for little kids.
Okay.
Most kids, brave ones, between the ages of, say, 10 on up, probably hit the water slides.
Oh yeah, they
But
did.
the little kids treat all the hot tubs on board like a swimming pool. Basically, that's their swimming pool, so they won't get in the big one. That was a problem. And don't think we got a problem with kids on a cruise. Every cruise we've ever been on had kids, and we got 8 grandkids our doggone self. So we don't have a problem with kids on a cruise. But the hot tub, I kind of like claim my own, even though I know it's not. That's my lick. On sea day, I want to hang out in the hot tub. That was not happening. The adult only area, Serenity, was everything but serene. One, it's right next to the entrance to the water slide.
At the top of the ship. At the very top of the ship.
And the front. With no cover, just a windscreen. Now, we happened to be on a particularly windy sailing. So you're up there and you are just getting whipped. We're sailing into a 40-knot wind head on almost. That was not cool. I mean, once you got in the hot tub, yeah, you might have been all right, but then you got to get out. And like I said, it's right by the water slide. So kids are running in and out of there because it's the quickest way to the door versus running all the decks down to get out. So that wasn't, again, it was anything but serene.
No, and then the way we got up there, there's only two ways to get up there. You either go up the water slide stairs, or you go through the back through, what was it, the spa?
Spa
The
9.
spa, and they had some sort of weird little elevator on a pole.
A monopole elevator.
And so you're in there, and the wind is whipping, and you're inside this elevator doing this. I was like, oh, Lord, we need to pray to get off this thing, and I hope we make it down. I was never so nervous in my entire life, and I'm never nervous about stuff like that. Never. And I was just, it just was all janky. Is that a good word, janky?
I say that's pretty accurate, actually.
And I didn't like the way that they had the top of the ship for adults. This is the adult area, people. I didn't like the way they had it designed because they had all these clamshell beds and they were side by side. Let me show you something. Side by side, and they went all the way around the ship, the back of the ship. You can't talk to anybody. They're all facing the water. There's only a few chairs in a little area that you can get up there and be able to meet anybody else. Now, I won't even mention any other ship names, but I will tell you, if you've ever been in a solarium or an all-adult area on other ships, it is fun. You can be in the pool with people. There's no pool up there. No pool up there.
Two hot tubs.
Just jacuzzis. You could go and meet people and do all this kind of stuff up there. That's not happening. That's not happening.
At least it didn't seem like it. But again, it was so windy, there was nobody hardly up there.
No.
The other thing is, it's completely uncovered. It's completely uncovered. Now, for that sailing, the wind was the issue. But what happens in August when you're baking? That clamshell is only going to give you so much shade depending on which way the ship is sailing and where the position of the sun is. That's a cancer problem waiting to happen. You're going to get skin cancer messing around up there. There ain't enough sunscreen to help you. All right, let's talk about bars. So you have the Red Frog bar on the Lido deck.
Is it the Red Frog pub?
No, the pub is downstairs.
Oh, okay.
The Red Frog bar on the Lido deck. Is there another bar up there? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it was just the Red Frog. That was just about it. Because you had Red Frog in one corner, you had Guy across from it, and then Blue Iguana over here. There might have been something over there. I can't remember. It was kind of a forgettable cruise. Sorry. You had the Red Frog pub down on deck 6, I believe. And you had Alchemy down there as well. Now, Alchemy was my favorite. Had their specialty drinks off in there that you can only get at that bar. They won't make you anything else. If you go there and want a rum and coke, you're not going to get it. You know, they have their particular drinks. We tried the Cucumber Sunrise, which was very good. That's a drink that'll get you in trouble. I tell you that right now. You can sit by the pool out on the deck and drink several of those. Next thing you know, you laid out.
I had one only.
And I had the Island Old Fashioned. That one was really good. That's another one that can get you in trouble, but you know you're drinking when you drink that one. The bar at the casino, all the other bars were the cruise ship bars. The guys, sometimes you were in the weeds, depending on if it was a sea day or not. For the most part, they all did very well. The service was good. The drinks were good. I'm a beer drinker, so I didn't get too many cocktails. And she's a lightweight, so if they were watered down, it wouldn't have even mattered.
What's the name of the bar that we went to that was right inside Pig and Anchor where we sat at the booth?
Inside Pig and Anchor?
No, where Pig and Anchor was on the outside. We walked in and
That was Red Frog Pub.
okay.
That was Red Frog Pub.
That was a nice little bar, I'll tell you. That was nice.
So the bars, I don't have any knock against. I mean, they're giving me alcohol. I'm good with that.
I have one knock, but first let me say this. The drinks on Carnival are fabulous. Not gonna lie. Wherever these bartenders came from, they obviously didn't come from the rest of this ship. So I will tell you that these drinks are very, very good. They had great stuff. Anything that I asked for or they made up, or the list, before we went on this cruise, I actually went on the internet and said a list of the best frozen drinks from Carnival Cruise, and they were amazing. I really went down the checklist and checked them off and tried everything. Here's my one knock. Carnival, if you don't get rid of this nasty, slimy sugar straws, oh my gosh. First of all, I had heard about it before we went, so I brought my own straws, which I forgot in the room. So when I went down there, a couple of times I had to get a sugar straw. I don't know who made that thing, but it is foul. I could take one sip and the whole thing be slimy for the rest of the time. And then they come flavored. I don't want a chocolate straw or a mango straw or a whatever. One of them I think was a lime straw.
Yeah, it was a lime one.
It was weird. It was just weird. Go back to the regular straws. I don't like paper straws either, but anything but that slimy, wormy mess. That was bad. The other thing that I had a problem with. No, first of all, let me just tell you something. We were on this cruise ship and it was packed. The people, for the most part, except for a couple of fools, the people were very nice and friendly, and everybody had a great time. And some people was giving John a hard time for being Cowboy fans, and I was like, it wasn't necessary when you didn't even like football and weren't even there to watch football. So, but here's the part I had an issue with. On the ship, there were people that were outside on the decks that had brought their own speakers and were playing music loud over everything else. There were people down on the Lido deck. We were on the deck above the Lido deck. There were people on the Lido deck trying to watch a movie, and it was actually, you could hear it over the movie. You couldn't even hear it. It was ridiculous. The next thing was, don't ask me how this got past the dog, but there were...
Like everything else?
Yeah. But there were people up there that brought a hookah and were up smoking weed on a hookah in front of everybody, and nobody ever came and told any of this to stop. Nobody. So, and this was after they made the announcement to everybody in the world that they're going to stop that.
Sent out the emails.
Yeah. You got to mess around, and we call it something else, but this the mess around and find out email. Nobody messed around and found out a thing. You just kept going on there doing what you wanted to do. So that lessened it for us because we don't pay for that experience. Like, we're not doing that. So for me, I guess that was my thing on lack of security. Nobody said anything, and plenty of staff were walking around. They were there, but nobody said a word. So I don't know.
Well, anyway, I hear MSC's security is supposed to be pretty badass.
They need to borrow some.
Yeah, borrow some, pay some, do something.
They're looking like the mob on MSC.
Or don't waste your time sending out that email because no one's paying attention.
Yeah.
We've gone through all of this stuff of being on the ship. Now it's time to get off. It's debarkation day. The debarkation process is a hot mess on a good day. It makes absolutely no sense.
It's a tragedy. It was the worst experience ever. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. So tell them what happened.
So here's the timeline. Everyone must be off the ship by 10:15, but everybody must be out of their rooms by 8:15. They give you your debarkation classification Clearly, no one pays attention to that because you get down to like deck 6 or deck 7, waiting for your turn to be called, hanging out somewhere, trying to hang out somewhere, and basically it's just the stairwells are just all full of people just standing there. They're not even trying to get in the elevator, they're just trying to get down, and people are going. You don't know if it's actually them being called. Don't seem like the line is moving much at all. And had we known it was going to be like this, we would have just went up to the Lido deck or somewhere else and sat down and just waited till 10:15 and walked off the ship. We got in line like everyone else, and we just had to just move off to the side and just sit down and wait because it was horrible.
Let me tell you something. They also take and close down certain elevators so for them to take luggage down whenever. So all the elevators weren't working. Then the elevators were so packed, you never even got an elevator to stop where you could get on, which is fine, and I get that but here's the problem. Where other ships say, okay, come meet here, you meet here, you meet here, or you stay in your room until we call you, we're here, and stay in your room here. Yeah, this was a ship full of people that do not follow the rules. Because the second they said, we're going to get off on deck 3, but you can only use one set of stairs, the whole ship ran to the stairs, and then it became a problem. Nobody stayed in their rooms and waited for them to call their number. Nobody did anything. And there was nobody there to say, go back to your room. You're not getting off the ship till we call your name and number.
They had to be out of the room by 8:15.
Oh.
That's the thing. That's the crazy thing.
So yeah, I forgot about that. So there was no place
order
to put them. They didn't put them anywhere. They didn't say your section comes here and then we'll release y'all all at the same time. Your section goes here. It was none of that. It was chaotic. It was awful.
It was horrible. Another thing, for those of you that have drones, when you get on the ship, you have to check your drone at security before you get on. So they take your drone, they tag it, and then it gets put on ship. When you get to your port, you can check it out and go. When you get back on the ship, you give it back to them, they hold it. The one thing they did not make clear at embarkation or when you checked it back in is where to pick it up at debarkation. Now, at 5 in the morning, for everyone who bought liquor and cigarettes, tobacco, they off ship, it was confiscated when they came back on ship. So at 5 in the morning, you had to meet at one of the dining rooms to go pick up your confiscated items. They didn't clarify what those confiscated items are, and for the most part, they used to be able to, like, for alcohol and things like that, they would drop that off at your room the night before, so you could just take it then, and when it was time for you to get off the ship, you get off the ship. So there are 2 long lines for alcohol purchased on the ship, alcohol purchased off the ship, for people to pick up. And I'm in one of these lines thinking maybe my drone is in here because no one clarified where I was to pick up my drone, which, by the way, is back on land at security where you dropped it off at to begin with. That'd have been nice to know going in, so I would not have wasted my time getting up at 5 in the morning to stand in this long line, which coincidentally, the line I was in, the very first lady, they lost her alcohol, and she wasn't moving until they found her alcohol or gave her back her money. You can imagine how my last day started.
All right. So we've told you all the bad stuff. We told you the couple of good things. I'll say let's do some good stuff. Some good stuff really quick is we got our pictures taken on the ship. They were amazing. They looked fabulous. I was very pleased with those. We watched the Super Bowl in the casino, and that was very pleasant. They had so many places on the ship. Any place with a TV was showing the Super Bowl, so people were able to spread out, and it was not crazy. That was also a good thing. That worked out very well. So to wrap this up, let me just say this. We're not dragging Carnival. I know you're about to drag us, but we're not dragging Carnival. We just simply want to tell you what happened to us on this ship, and we want to be honest about it, so that maybe in advance you could skip out of some of this stuff or come back and comment and let us know how your trip was, and did any of these things happen to you, or did we just get some bad juju on the cruise?
Was it a one-off?
Yeah.
It's hard to say, right? we checked the roll call group for this sailing, and there were tons of people that had a great time. And we're not here to tell them they didn't. This was just our experience on this cruise.
Right.
One ship, one sailing, that's it. Again, not a sweeping indictment. Again, not a sweeping indictment
Yeah,
of
it's
Carnival as a whole.
I'm
Talking about this one ship.
I'm going to tell you, though, that I have no desire to, after this, to go on. Like I said, it's not a Carnival thing, but I have no desire to go on
They're
the
older
ships
ships.
this size or the older ships or something like that. I wanted to go on Vista, but I heard it was a lot the same. But I heard it was in a good way. It was a lot the same. But for me, that I don't know yet. So, but I will tell you what we are going to do. We are going to go on Jubilee when Jubilee ports in Galveston when it comes out. We're not going to get in December, but we'll go sometime. Hopefully next year we'll jump on and see, because we don't, like we said, we don't want to dog Carnival out. We want to give Carnival a chance. We're going to see what Jubilee's like. I'm hoping that the newer ship will be better equipped, more things, better food, newer stuff, more care.
It's a sister ship to the Mardi Gras and the Celebration. We're hearing nothing but good things about that. We've heard a lot of questionable stuff about older ships that are in the Dream class or older than that even. So, we just got to take it with a grain of salt. This was just the first Carnival cruise, and this is what we got.
Yeah. And listen, we know that other people love the Breeze. The people, our friends and family that were on this ship with us, they actually love the Breeze too. And it makes us question, because we started sailing on a different line that to us was a better experience. Did that make us look at this ship a little differently? And we really just had to go down the list and say no. No, it didn't. There was no, we thought we would do like a comparison of ships, but there was really no need. I mean, there's not a comparison right now with this one sailing we had. Maybe we just picked the wrong sailing. I don't know. But, yeah, that's it for me.
So that wraps up and concludes our first ship review of our first Carnival cruise. If you guys are still here, if you're new here, we hope that you would like this video, subscribe, leave your comments down below. Let us know what you think. If you've ever been on the Breeze, tell us about your experience with any of the things we touched on or any things you think we may have missed. Like I said, just this one ship, just this one sailing, no more, no less.
Sneak peek, we just got off of a Carnival-owned ship that wasn't the Carnival that turned out to be the best cruise we've ever had. So that's why we said we don't want to dog Carnival as a whole, just this one time. And I can't wait to show you the next series.
All right, so until the next time, guys, I'm John.
I'm Kelly.
We're Trippin' Texans, and we'll catch you next time we're tripping.